You know, there are a lot of reasons why retcons happen in stories. Sometimes there's a plot hole that needs fixed, or other times there's a complete reboot starting the story from the ground up. You want to know what a bad reason to do a retcon would be? Forced ideological bogus and racial connotations that don't actually exist, only to pat yourself on the back for virtue signaling. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle. And yeah, if you hadn't heard, Wizards of the Coast renames Magic the Gathering world Kaladesh due to Kala having derogatory, colorist, and racist connotations in Hindi language. First of all, I've got so many bones to pick with wotc, with Wizards of the Coast. Any of you that know me know that I'm a pretty big Magic the Gathering fan. I keep my decks on lock, I go to tournaments, I play competitively, but I don't buy a sealed product. Why don't I buy a sealed product? Because I don't want to give these clowns my money. Same reason I've all but given up playing Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, Wizards of the Coast is quite literally the Disney of the tabletop RPG world, of the card game world. Really, they're, if not just as bad, worse than Disney, because in some small bits, Disney seems to almost be course correcting, whereas Wizards of the Coast continues to double, triple, and quadruple down on their ideology, on their agenda, on the wokeness, on the DEI, on the ESG, and insert every other buzzword here that the vast majority of people and nerds and gamers absolutely do not care about. And it's going so far as to, just like they did with Dungeons and Dragons, now affect and really infect the lore of Magic the Gathering. And for the most insane reasons. I mean, in the Hindi language, how many Hindi folks do you know going to play at Magic the Gathering tournaments? Because as somebody that's been to several, let me tell you, not very many. So we're going to get into this article. Before we do, hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news nearly every day. And let's play Don't Have an Aneurysm. That's today's challenge, the Don't Have an Aneurysm challenge. And yet again, attempting to pursue the unattainable goal of ensuring the popular trading card game is 100% inoffensive to each and every individual on the planet, Wizards of the Coast has renamed the Magic the Gathering world of Kaladesh out of deference to the fact that the term Kala is often used as a racial slur in the Hindi language. And what is absolutely amazing about this is, I guarantee you nobody knew about this, nobody complained about this. This is not something that actual fans ever brought to their attention. Again, I've been playing for years. I've gone to many a Magic the Gathering tournament. In fact, some of them more diverse than others, depends on where the tournament's at, how large it is, things to that effect, and never once have I seen this complaint. In fact, no matter what Magic the Gathering tournament you go to, the vast majority of them, let's be real, predominantly white male. Call it for what it is. Black people play Yu-Gi-Oh!, white people play Magic the Gathering, and then pretty much everyone plays Pokemon if you're 12 or younger. I get I'm being very, general here, making a lot of generalizations, but in general, yeah, that is what you're gonna see when you go to these tournaments. And I don't know any white person that's throwing a fit about this unless they're the white savior type, which, to be fair, that is the audience that Wizards of the Coast has been cultivating, the white savior. That's why we've got things like safety tools in Dungeons and Dragons, or why we've got combat wheelchairs, or why there can't be any evil races anymore. But it is insane, and it frankly deserves to be called out that they are only doing this for the virtue signal, and frankly, I don't know if it's going to hurt the brand or not, because people are so addicted to these little cardboard squares. It is like a drug. It is crack cocaine to them. Like, oh man, I got to pre-order the new packs, and I got to get these new bonus expanded editions, and I've got to make sure to get the new secret lair drop. I mean, people spend money on this in ways they shouldn't be doing, when as customers, they're being treated like morons and being treated like garbage. You think that, do you think that your own player base is that racist? Is that what you're doing it? Like, first of all, by the way, Kala doesn't actually have really that much of a racial connotation to it. We'll get to that later in the article. But is that what you think your fan base is? Do you think that your fan base and customer base are a bunch of racists, and therefore to mitigate that, you need to change the name? I mean, if your fan base are a bunch of racists, you've been doing so well selling them up to this point, you would think they would want the racial stuff in these cards. But again, that's not even really the point. It's just kind of amazing to point out the hypocrisy and inability for Wizards of the Coast to think forward in terms of, or I guess the problem is they are thinking too forward. First introduced in the game's collective lore in 2015 with the release of its 17th overall core set, Magic Origins, Kaladesh is a plane, short for plane of existence, in the game term for various worlds that make up the Magic the Gathering multiverse, whose people specialize in harnessing, refining, and utilizing their home's rich reserves of ether, a sort of metaphysical energy that makes makes up the entire structure of the multiverse. Notably, MTG players may best recognize the plane as the birthplace of 3 of the game's planeswalkers, individuals born with rare ability to freely travel between the different planes. Dovin Baan, Sahili Rai, and the game's arguable face, Chandra Nalar. And again, Chandra, by the way, we want a DEI. For those of you that aren't particularly familiar with Magic the Gathering, Chandra, a character that they retroactively made fucking lesbian, or at least bisexual, whatever, because, hey, we need that diversity, right? I covered that back when it happened, or maybe I didn't. Maybe I haven't before it even had a YouTube channel, and I just bitched about it on the internet. But the point is, we've said before, if you want to have, make new characters, don't retroactively, but this is Wizards of the Coast we're talking about. Again, they are just as bad as Disney, and we all know what Disney's up to. So yeah, this is Chandra. Also, I don't even know that I would say that Chandra is the face of the game. I mean, I would think Jace is more iconic than her, but what do I know? In terms of visual identity, Kaladesh bears an MTG-specific aesthetic known as etherpunk. Its hallmarks include large marble structures adorned with golden domes, widespread adoption of ether-reliant technological tools, and an abundance of flying and transportation vehicles. Regarding its conception, as explained by MTG dev team during 2016, India was an inspiration to bring a fresh take to steampunk, and that's what got us to etherpunk. And that's awesome! That's fine! Your boy is mad okay with using other cultures as, forms of artistic representation of ideas. Like, oh man, they've got some really cool architecture over in India. What if we took that architecture, took that idea, and blended it with this sort of steampunk futuristic vibe, combine it with magic, and yeah, you get some really cool, I mean, look at this. This art is sick. No one on the planet can tell you that Magic the Gathering art is bad. I don't give a damn when you can talk all you want about me anti-woke, anti-DEI, all that stuff that any intelligent individual is, and I will be right there with you. But ain't nobody gonna complain about the art. I mean, this shit looks sick. But apparently it's racist, or at least the name of the realm that's being depicted here, the fake realm, the fictional realm, is racist. And it was presumably thanks to Kaladesh having such a direct relationship with the South Asian nation that due to the use of the term Kala as an anti-black slur in the Hindi language, wotc has now renamed the plane to Avishkar. How many of y'all ever gone to a KKK rally and heard them calling all them black people Kalas? Look, I've heard some pretty ridiculous terms. I heard spear chucker, I've heard porch monkey, I've heard jigaboo. I've never heard Kala. I'm just saying, like, this is not very high on the list of racial terms being thrown about here in America, where the vast majority of Magic the Gathering is being played, or really anywhere across the world so far as I can gather. And even if it is, oh goddamn well, are you so weak that, oh no, the prefix might have a racial connotation, so we need to walk it back? But that's not even, by the way, the only thing Kala can mean, nor is it the main thing Kala can mean, as we find out as we read further into the article. In a blog post explaining the change, the publisher detailed, when we first started working on Ether Drift, that's the new upcoming set by the way, we were excited for Magic to return to one of the players' most beloved planes, a bright and hopeful world of innovation that took inspiration from real-world India. We knew we had heard feedback at the release of the original Kaladesh, said the name carried unfortunate connotations in some dialects, so not even the language as a whole, just some dialects, by the way, of the Hindi language. Okay, you say you heard feedback. From who? From who? Because I've been playing Magic the Gathering for a long time. I've been playing competitively for quite a while, and I ain't never heard this. Who did you get this feedback from? Did you get it from the people who were actually buying your product? Did you get it from the actual fans? Or did you get it from some random ass blog post or some random ass post on fucking Tumblr of all places, I'm sure, with people, like a smattering of individuals saying, oh, this word could mean so. I mean, these are the same type of folk that said that this symbol is racist, that the okay symbol is racist. These are also probably the same people that think that Wakanda Forever is actually some sort of meaningful statement to make on social media or in their shorts that they put on YouTube or what the hell ever. Those are the words they're saying. They're not listening to you as fans. They're not giving a good goddamn about you as fans, because as long as 3 or 4 individuals that are probably anonymous with usernames like Spankmeister7890 or Loves Children _not really _map, something like that, those are the people that Wizards of the Coast are listening to, and we wanted to ensure that our return to the plane was done thoughtfully and respectfully, said wotc. So as an early step into building the Ether Drift set, we engaged a group of subject matter and language experts to work with us and to help guide us as we build the set. What makes somebody a language expert? I want to know, like, obviously, they went to some fancy school that really, it is just a sign that they had a lot of money or put themselves in a lot of debt, one of the two, if not both, to get some fancy piece of paper. What are these language experts? What are their political ideologies? What are their political leanings? Do they have an agenda at heart? I imagine they probably do. Our goal was to find a way to honor the spirit of the plane and its real-world inspiration. But here's the best part. Here is where it gets good. We learn what it actually means. When we created the original Kaladesh set, we chose the words Kala as a word that can mean tomorrow or art, combined with Desh, meaning home or country. So you have the prefix having a positive connotation. We're talking about a futuristic scientific world based on what you would probably consider a minority group, even though India is like, what, the most populous country on earth? It's like that or China. I'm pretty sure they go back and forth. So you're taking what you would consider a minority group, even though they're not a minority, and giving them a banger-ass name that can mean tomorrow or art. But because in some random dialects and little small pockets of the country, it can have a negative connotation to the word black, which, by the way, is a color, first and foremost, not a people, you're willing to throw the whole thing under the bus. Now, I will give a small bit of credit to Wizards of the Coast, because I am nothing if not a fair man, quick with a joke and short to anger. At least they're not retconning it to the point where, oh, this land was always called Avishkar. No, they have gone on to say that in the lore, it will remain that it was Kaladesh, and due to story events, it will now be called Avishkar, and anything referencing the land's past they'll refer to as Kaladesh. So at least they're not pulling a Games Workshop. There's always been female custodes. No, the fuck there wasn't. They're not doing it was always called Avishkar. No. They are trying to work the retcon in with the ongoing story. But I'll be real, the vast majority of Magic the Gathering players don't give a good goddamn about the story anyway, and even if they did, this is still a virtue signal. No matter how you slice it, 5 ways from Sunday, you are doing this because, what, it's going to make 1 or 2 people that may or may not buy your product happy, whereas you leave individuals like me who have been happily buying your products for years upon years upon years in the dust. The actual loyal customers who did pay for these special editions and did go to the tournaments, and frankly still does go to the tournaments, but that's neither here nor there, did do all the Friday Night Magic pre-releases. I mean, I've probably given them gobs more money over the course of the years, and I'm sure several of you guys that are Magic the Gathering players watching this, or more likely former Magic the Gathering players watching this, I'm sure you gave them gobs more money of your, or gobs more of your money over the years than any of these individuals that complained about Kala potentially having a racial connotation. Do we need to change the name of Superman because Kal-El is, that's too similar? It could upset some of the people that worship cows. It's absolutely insane. It's ridiculous. And yet another reason why, even though I maintain that wokeness is dying, that, we're getting a bit reactionary at times. Hey, we don't need to make a YouTube video or throw a fit about every little thing. This is one of those things that, yeah, it shows that, no. Wokeness might be on the downturn for some of these corporations that are losing money on it, but Wizards of the Coast isn't. Wizards of the Coast is continuing to post record profits because people are so addicted to Dungeons & Dragons. They're so addicted to Magic the Gathering, and because of that, get woke, go broke doesn't apply to them, which is why in instances like this, the pressure needs to be kept on. But those are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I am a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. And also, check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon, where I post, videos of myself at Magic tournaments, or pictures of upcoming deck releases, or, just whatever I'm doing on the day-to-day basis, recipes. It's a fun time. Also, for $4.99, you can become a member. Join the Discord. We have over 140 vital idols. It is a fantastic way. Just get involved in the Discord, talk about anime, music, whatever it may be. It's a great time. And of course, there are the new Words of Paradise merch store that launched. Get yourself a Hondo tee. You know you want you a Hondo tee. But until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere, and this has been Words of Paradise.